It's Thanksgiving Day in Florence, Oregon. Look at how much it's raining right now. Wasn't even raining 15 minutes ago. Well, not like this. This stuff's coming down sideways. I mean, I've seen a lot worse here, obviously. We've got a good rain going here. And just like that, it slows down and stops. Look. That's ocean weather right there. Look at that cross on that church. It's at the food bank. That's the church that does the food bank. See there? Fred Meyer was open today. Safeway's open. 24-hour gas station's open. 7-Eleven's open. I remember it was just a few years ago. Fred Meyer and Safeway and Walmart would be closed every Thanksgiving. They are closed on Christmas, but they're not closed on Thanksgiving anymore. We live in a very interesting world right now. I mean, I'm a Christian, so I believe we're in the last days. I believe the rapture, is within the next 10 years, probably. I firmly and strongly believe it. Yes, I do. There's a lot of organizations in town today that give homeless people stuff on Thanksgiving, but it never solves the problem. I don't believe the homeless problem can be solved by just throwing stuff at it. More money, more food. I don't believe it can be solved. All you're doing is, you're giving them the next meal. We've developed a system in this country where anybody shows up for any reason, we just feed them and give them free stuff. Now, why do I bring that up? Because their problems never get solved. You see, the actual problem they have, regardless of why they're on the street, I'm not even saying anything about that. Regardless, their problems never ever get solved. They never get housing, shelter. I mean, you could build a tiny house for $10,000 and put them in it. So I want you to think about something. For those of you who are against giving permanent housing to homeless people, there's been study after study after study about this. It would actually be cheaper. It would actually be cheaper just to build them tiny houses on government land and hire people to help them than what we're doing now. It costs the United States of America, with all 50 states, over $100 billion a year, over $100 billion a year to keep people homeless on the street. You could use that $100 billion. Do you know how many tiny houses you can build for $1 billion? You know, they say over the last 20 years, California spent over $25 billion trying to solve the homeless problem. You could have built every single homeless person in California a house. Not a big house. No, I'm talking about a tiny house. See, there's a homeless person right there. He's looking for a place to bed down for the night. Well, what's going to happen is, look at those pretty lights. Pretty Christmas lights out. What's going to happen is, we're coming up against the financial part of it. We're going to get to the point in America. I'm an American in America. We're going to get to the point in America to where it's just going to be cheaper to build them a tiny $10,000 tiny house and let them live in it. Yes, you'll have to have services. You'll have to pay people to provide those services. But we're spending $100 billion already on the homeless. So yeah, the homeless issue is going to come against the financial issue. And it's going to go back to the Supreme Court in my prediction, because you can't tell people living on the street that they don't have a right to sleep somewhere, and that they have to leave your entire town. How is that even possible? I mean, where are they going to go? Well, they go to a shelter. Well, when you go to big cities, there are no shelter spaces. So, you know, Donald Trump says he's going to start building mental institutions again. And he's going to scoop homeless people off the street and put them in these mental institutions. Look at these beautiful Christmas lights they got going. I love Florence, Oregon. Florence, Oregon is the best example I've ever seen of community. You know, everybody does a little something, and then it all turns out to be one big, great thing, you see. Nobody here tries to do the whole thing, but they do something, and then it all turns out to be, see all the lights, Christmas lights coming up. And we got the beautiful Saishla Bridge. Now I'm amazed that almost every restaurant is closed. When I moved here 23 years ago, every restaurant was open on Thanksgiving. I mean, they would get hundreds of people going out to dinner on Thanksgiving. Because it's an elderly town. Look at these people walking down the street. They're walking in the middle of the street, down the street. That's funny. They're doing it on purpose. They're just, you know, they're just kids. It's funny. I should honk at them. That's hilarious. Well, that's just a small town. They're just out having fun. There's nobody here. They're not harming anything. They're just having fun. Visiting their family. Let's go walk around Bay Street on Thanksgiving night. And then they'll go home and probably play board games or video games. Why not? That's what I'm saying. This Florence, Oregon is the best example of community I've ever seen in my lifetime. We probably have 100 homeless people here on and off all the time. They come from like Eugene. Because you can get on a bus for like $8 now from Eugene and come straight out here for $8. You can literally be standing at Walmart with a cardboard sign. Somebody gives you $10 and the bus comes an hour later, picks you up and brings you to the coast. And you can get off the bus right here at the coast. It's a perfect time to make this video because I think it's 5 p.m. Yeah, it's 10 to 5. So there's just enough light left with daylight savings time. There's just enough light left so you can see everything. Now here's the Port of Saishla. I mean, we don't really have a homeless problem here, not like Eugene or Portland or Medford or Salem, you know, stuff like that. I'm gonna make a circle and show you all the motorhomes. These people are living here, you know, a week, a month. Some of them are fishing like that guy. They got monthly rates here in the winter. No, I'm not attracting any attention. Yeah, I moved here 23 years ago. See the sailboats down there? Come down here in the morning. You got seals, like 10 or 20 seals there every day now. Just for the winter, probably. So looking at the water mark, it's high tide right now. That's what it tells me. And you see the water moving, so that means it's pretty windy. Let's go drive around some more. We have the best police department I've ever seen in all my travels. I'm not joking. I mean, I'm not just saying that to be saying that. I've never seen a better police department or fire department in any other place I've lived in my lifetime. We do have people living in boats down here. There's someone living in a Sprinter van over there. Like a $150,000 Sprinter van. I want to show you this sailboat down here. Check it out. The Christmas lights. Here, I'll zoom in. There, oh yeah, you can kind of see it there. Turn off the lights. There we go. There's a beautiful sight right there. I think I'll push the photo button and then make that my oh look, they changed color. Make that my tag. And then you got these over here. Yeah, there's people living on all these boats, or most of these boats. Spending Thanksgiving in a Sprinter van. Yep. They could be just traveling too as husband and wife, but with 2 dogs. I think they're living in it. A lot of people are choosing to retire early now. Get a $200,000 Sprinter van for 5 years and drive around. And just put all their money in the bank. Or some people are choosing to let their kids live in their house and pay them rent while they buy the Sprinter van and drive around for 5 years, and then get the money from their children from the rent and whatever investments they had, and then they still own the house. Well, it's becoming so expensive to live now. Look at all these beautiful lights. It's becoming so expensive to live now. It's almost cheaper just to live in a van and travel around the United States than it is to own a house and go to work. I mean, think about it. I mean, that sounds crazy. You can travel around the country in a Sprinter van easily for $25,000 a year. If you own a house in like California, Washington, New York, you know, Chicago, your house costs $40,000 a year. And you're only going to work to pay that. I mean, in many cases, it's just cheaper to just cash out at 58 years old and then go spend 5 years in a Sprinter van until you can get Social Security at 62. And you're still pretty young. You could still go back to work if you want to. Look at the lights on this house right here. Doesn't that look beautiful? That guy must be an electrician. No, seriously. People who are electricians, they put a lot of lights on their house at Christmas. Because they know how to do it, see? And they know how to make it look great and the best way to do it. That church right there gives away a lot of free sandwiches to homeless people every week, like 2 or 3 days a week. I mean, that's their thing. And, you know, they get 20 or 30 people come down here 2 or 3 days a week to get a free sandwich. Where else you gonna go? Now look at our new city hall. It's a few years old now, but it's pretty new. It's a very beautiful city hall. You see how they made it like round in the front? I really like that. And they got the bigger flag now out front. Florence, Oregon, well, it's since I've lived here 23 years. There's someone living in a camper. It's a town that does not grow fast, but it grows every year. I don't mean in population, no. I mean in like economic growth. The population really hasn't gone up much in 20 years. It's always been right at about 10,000 as long as I've been here. Now we do got a lot more people living out in the outskirts now. So that might bring the population up to 20,000 if you go, you know, like 5 miles out of town in a big circle. Well, you don't put the circle in the ocean, though. I don't think there's anybody living in the ocean. Not that I know of. Being homeless is a very lonely proposition. Very lonely. especially on the holidays. Now, I used to work at the Salvation Army back in Iowa. So when I talk about homelessness, I know what I'm talking about. I wanted to show you these lights down here at the Dunes Cafe. They always got a good set of Christmas lights every year. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty cool. See how they kind of come down? Here, let me zoom in a little. I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but they say that's the best breakfast place in town. I mean, I'm sure all the other restaurants would argue, but people tell me that's the best one, so. I've never eaten breakfast there. I worked in the restaurant business for 25 years, so I cook all my food at home. I see Subway's closed. Boy, if Subway was open, there'd be a line out the door right now. No way. Dollar Tree was open on Thanksgiving? No way! I'm really surprised. I love the Dollar Tree. This place is open on Thanksgiving. There's a guy out back working. All right, I guess that's enough for now.